Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today and for your interest in the Community Opportunities Flexible Fund, part of the First 5LA Early Childhood Policy and Advocacy Fund. My name is Patty Sanchez, and I am a program director with Community Partners, the intermediary organization that is administering this grant program on behalf of First 5LA. I am joined today by my colleagues who are also part of the ECPAC team, Priscila Romero, Programs Administrative Assistant, and Cynthia Freeman, Senior Program Director. So today we're going to discuss grant guidelines and eligibility criteria for the COFF program. So to start, we'll begin with an overview. The Community Opportunities Flexible Fund provides grants to organizations working to advance systems change for children prenatal to age 5 and their families here in Los Angeles. Additionally, funding must align with Goal 1 of First 5LA's strategic plan, which states that children prenatal to age 5 and their families have their basic needs met. So this should result in outcomes that reduce infant mortality, alleviate poverty, and decrease housing insecurity. We also want to take a moment to define what we mean by systems change. We found that Social Justice Partners LA did a really great job in both defining systems change and differentiating it from direct service work. So I'm going to go ahead and read the definition here. Systems change is the process of addressing the root causes of social issues. Unlike direct service work that provides immediate relief to individuals, systems change aims to create long-lasting change by shifting the structures, policies, processes, and power dynamics that perpetuate these problems. It takes into account the intricate political, social, and economic factors contributing to these issues and actively seeks to change them. And here are some examples of addressing the same problem through either a direct service approach or a systems change approach. So for the first example, we have the issue area is in reducing housing insecurity. So direct service approach may provide rental assistance payments to certain number of impacted families, whereas a systems change approach may advocate for policy changes that create more affordable housing overall. Another example is with the focus on reducing infant mortality. A direct service approach may offer parents care packages with education materials and newborn essentials, while a systems change approach may focus on monitoring hospitals to ensure that policies that reduce implicit bias are implemented effectively. So again, systems change is about broader long-term changes, while direct service is about more focused immediate relief. As for funding priorities, funding from the Community Opportunities Flexible Fund must support First 5LA's mission, its commitment to equity, and Goal 1 of First 5LA's strategic plan. So those are all listed here. Now we'll just go over them briefly. First 5LA's mission is that every child in Los Angeles County reaches their full developmental potential throughout the critical years of prenatal to age 5. Through its commitment to equity, First 5LA states, we honor the wisdom of our communities, recognizing that their assets hold the key to dismantling systemic barriers and forging a path to racial justice as we champion opportunity for all. And Goal 1 of the First 5LA strategic plan ensures that children prenatal to age 5 and their families have their basic needs met, which, as we stated earlier, will result in outcomes that reduce infant mortality, alleviate poverty, and decrease housing insecurity. And you could see here, we also included specific metrics that First 5LA is looking to achieve in all of its work by the end of 2029 in each of these outcome areas. So now I will pass it on to Cynthia to share more about what this funding supports and who is eligible to apply.
Thank you so much, Patty. As you see here, there are a range of activities that this funding can support. Some examples include building and sustaining coalition work, capacity building such as policy and systems education, or learning about the legislative and budgeting process, policy implementation and monitoring, supporting families impacted by climate, environmental harm, or emergencies, or supporting immigrant families impacted by changing policies. As for who is eligible to apply for Community Opportunities Flexible Fund funding, this program is open to Los Angeles serving nonprofit organizations, fiscally sponsored projects, social benefit businesses or consulting firms, and government or tribal entities. You do not have to be headquartered in Los Angeles, but you must be doing substantial work here. This funding opportunity is only available to organizations with budgets under $6 million. If you are a fiscally sponsored organization, this refers to your organization's budget, not the fiscal sponsor's overall budget. Work must specifically focus on one or more of the three outcome areas mentioned previously: reducing infant mortality, reducing poverty, and/or reducing housing insecurity. Another thing to consider is that as a one-time grant, personnel costs may not exceed 30% for each of the staff positions supported by this grant. Staffing sustainability is an important consideration for First Five LA in awarding this money. So, what are we looking for in reviewing applications? One is that the work is that your proposed activities clearly support systems change efforts benefiting children prenatal to 5 and their families in LA County. In prior years, the biggest reasons that proposals were not funded was that they were focused on direct services or that they did not have a specific focus on prenatal to 5. We also were not able to fund proposals for statewide policy work that fit those criteria, but didn't have a strong connection to Los Angeles specifically. As mentioned, work must ensure that young children and their families have their basic needs met by either reducing infant mortality, reducing poverty, and/or reducing housing insecurity. We are also looking for community-driven involvement, that the proposed activity attempts to build community connections and voice of people most impacted by inequities, and that are led by community members with lived experience of systems impacting children prenatal to 5 and their families. And finally, the work should be actionable. The proposal should be feasible within the described timeframe and budget. And we are looking for applicants with the capacity, capability, and knowledge to execute the work. And now let me give you a high-level overview of the application process, and then we will get into the nuts and bolts of how to apply. We try to keep the application process as quick and easy for you as possible, so it is a short application. After the deadline, our community partners team reads every proposal, and if we have questions, we will follow up with you to get more information. Before they give final approval for grants, the staff at First Five LA may also have additional questions, so the whole process may take up to 8 weeks before award notifications go out. Now I'll pass the mic to my colleague Priscila Romero to go over how to apply.
Thank you, Cynthia. All of the application details, including full guidelines, the due date, and link to apply, can be found on our website. On the website, you'll see a number of accordions. You'll open the one that says Community Opportunities Flexible Fund Upcoming Deadline, August 3rd, 2026. And there you can view application guidelines and scroll to find Click here to apply for the Community Opportunities Flexible Fund. We use a platform called Submittable for grant applications. You will need to create a free account if you do not already have one. And Submittable works best with Chrome, Firefox, and Safari, so please be sure to use one of these three to sign up and submit your application. Again, our website noted here has the full guidelines and FAQs along with links to sign up for application office hours. These office hours are an opportunity to answer your questions directly, so there will not be any formal presentations. It is an open Q&A session. And any questions, you're always welcome to email me at promero@communitypartners.org. And here are some helpful links all in one place. Once again, our website has grant guidelines, FAQs, and the application link, the link to Social Justice Partners LA website where they define systems change, a link to the IRS website for a definition of grassroots lobbying, and lastly, there is a link to First Five LA's website that talks about the Early Childhood Policy and Advocacy Fund. I'll go ahead and pass it on to Patty.
Thanks, Priscilla. Thank you, Cynthia. That is the end of our session. Thank you for taking the time to watch this. We hope you found the information helpful, and we look forward to reviewing your applications. Thank you, everyone.